LiFi is a new innovation in the lighting world, and it differs from Wi-Fi in the following way. Wi-Fi is a technology that we all know and have been using for years, and it's based on radio wave communication for networking. LiFi, on the other hand, does not use radio waves, but uses light waves for the communication. And there's a number of advantages in doing that. The radio spectrum is congested, as we often experience in our day-to-day lives and work environment. Light waves are unlicensed, and there's a lot of spectrum available, and it's currently not being used for any communication means. Which means that it's available for communication, and it doesn't suffer from interference like radio waves do in Wi-Fi technology. And there are a number of other advantages in the sense that we have much more bandwidth available. We can achieve lower latency for new applications like AR and VR, and it suffers much less from electromagnetic interferences in harsher environments. If you imagine, for example, industrial environments, large warehouses or manufacturing plants with welding robots and moving metal parts, Wi-Fi typically has a hard time in these types of harsh industrial environments, whereas LiFi using light waves really don't suffer from those problems at all, and you can have undisturbed communication in those environments. And in these use cases, we feel that LiFi can be very complementary to RF-based technologies like Wi-Fi, and offer users additional means to communicate where RF has problems and challenges. From my perspective, the move from academia to commercial deployment has been brought forward by various considerations. Within the research labs, we always look for ever higher throughput speeds, etc. But in the industry, we started realizing that the technology is already good enough for some of the use cases that our users deal with on a day-to-day basis. And you don't always have to have gigabit speed transmission in order to do what you need to do. Sometimes 100 megabit per second is good enough to do what you need to get done. And companies throughout the industry have realized that there are use cases where today's technology can already be gainfully deployed and can solve real-life problems. And we've seen multiple companies pick this up and launch commercial product portfolios, which are doing quite well. If you follow the industry news, then I'm sure you've seen some of the recent industry announcements from several of the companies that participated in the conference, like Signify, ourselves, but also Pure LiFi and OLEDcom, particularly in the defense segment, where the LiFi property of enhanced security is really attractive for these types of applications and use cases, but also in the education space, where in schools, LiFi and light signals are preferred over RF-based communication. So we see all the signals that the industry is picking this up, and we're finding market segments where the technology can really solve problems and can exist as a complement to existing RF-based technologies, which may pose some challenges in these particular areas where LiFi really does very well. I think the role of the HomeGrid Forum is key in order to grow this market to the next stage. The standard specification that underlies this technology has been specified by the ITU-T. They do the protocol definitions and the specifications. And what you typically see is that an industry forum then picks up that technology and makes it usable for the industry. And they do that by defining a profile of the broad range of options in the standard that make it applicable and useful for a specific application domain, and then build an interoperability program around it. Because at the end of the day, it's really necessary for individual companies to be compliant to the standard, but often it's not enough. You also need to ensure that compliant implementations play nice together. and can interoperate together. And this is where standards play a key role, but this is also where industry fora and consortia like the HomeGrid Forum play a key role. The HomeGrid Forum has been in operation for over, I think, almost a decade, looking at home broadband networking technologies like G.hn. And the LiFi standard, called G.VLC, is a derivative of G.hn, which means that with the LiFi industry, we found a great home in the HomeGrid Forum, and we can reuse and build on the expertise that the HomeGrid Forum has built over the years, and we can extend it and make it relevant and applicable also for the LiFi domain. And this is really key for many of the industry players in the LiFi industry to join such a fantastic organization and use that as a platform or as a springboard to also grow the market for LiFi.